Welcome to A Moon Will Rise from Darkness, Part 2, Poets for Palestine. My name is Andrea Assaf, and I'm one of your co-hosts for 24 Hours for Palestine, and will be a co-host this session with Rewa Zeinati. Hello, Rewa. Welcome.
Hello, hello.
Last year, when we did 24 Hours for Palestine the first time in 2024, we had a poetry session also titled, in fact, the entire event was titled A Moon Will Rise from Darkness, which was inspired by the legendary Palestinian poet Mahmoud Darwish. And also this year's title, To Our Ultimate Freedom, is also inspired by Darwish. And so poetry continues to be something that is at the core of this event. And in particular, Art to Action has started doing a series of Poets for Palestine events and in Florida, as well as participating in various ones around the country and in this 24-hour live stream. And this is about reaching for poetry, reaching for resistance and hope, even in the darkest times, and having faith that a moon will rise from darkness, even as we are in it. And so I'm very excited to welcome Rewa as not only a co-host for this session, but also as a partner, representative of one of our partner organizations, the Arab American National Museum, and also as a poet herself. And I'm going to tell you just a little bit about Rewa and then hand it over to her. Rewa is a naturalized U.S. citizen with Lebanese and Palestinian roots. She's the author of poetry chapbooks Bullets and Orchids from Corrupt Press 2013 and Difficult, which is a lovely, lovely book. I really encourage you all to read it. Published in 2024, and she's the founding editor of Sukoon magazine. She lives and works in the Metro Detroit area, and it's really, really wonderful to get to co-host this event with you, Rewa. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Andrea. This is an honor. It really, truly is an honor to be here with you, as a fellow poet and writer, and to partner on this really necessary program, as a curator of public programming at the Arab American National Museum. We at the museum are definitely, as you know, have been really focusing on Palestine and Palestinian voices, and really just platforming and centering Palestine, and even everybody who is actually working towards Palestinian liberation, even if you're not Palestinian. So even in our programs and our exhibits and our education programs as well, this is something that's very, very important to us, and we continue to do that work. So thank you for inviting me to be part of this this program.
Can you tell us a little bit about the Words for Palestine series? And
yes.
about that?
Absolutely. Yeah. Thanks for bringing up Words for Palestine. It's an online series that's been going on. It's a monthly online series that we started at the end of 2023 in partnership with Rawi and Mizna and Palestine Rights. And it's just been inviting Palestinians to read their work, and also any poets and artists that are working towards Palestinian liberation. It's been going on until now. We currently just took a little break, but we're going to start up again next winter. And it will also just be Words for Palestine, just really doing the work that needs to be done, and just recording our voices, especially during a time of erasure and silencing and persecution. Like, this work is really, really important to have. So thanks for bringing that up. And I would love to turn it over to our first reader. But before I do that, I would like to share a short poem of mine.
Yes.
This one is called. Let me just bring up my little screen here. I have two screens open.
And while you're doing that, I'm just going to let viewers know that we have several readers today. We're very excited to share their incredible work with you. And so we'll have some live readings, we'll have a video poem, and then we'll have some conversation with the poets and writers about what it means to write in this time. So I will see you soon. Thank you, Rewa.
Thank you. This poem is called When My Christian Zionist Coworker Asks If I Have Any Good Resources on Campus Activism. I rearrange Mary Oliver's poem, Summer Days. That's the title. I know exactly what a prayer is, lifting my forearms and washing my face. This grasshopper made the world. This swan, ideal and blessed, kneels down with no plans. The black bear strolls through the fields or dies too soon at last. I mean, isn't everything precious? Tell me, is it still complicated? There's nothing else that you should have done except pay attention and mean it. I have yet to send that response to my Christian Zionist coworker. Without further ado, I would love to invite my dear friend and poet and filmmaker Hind Shoufani as our first reader, hailing from Brooklyn, New York. Hind Shoufani is a filmmaker, writer, a poet, an absolute powerhouse, born in Lebanon and raised in various parts of the Arab world. I'm so excited about her new book, A Dark Star Requiem, that's forthcoming from Diode Editions. It's coming out anytime soon this year. So welcome, Hind. Thank you for joining us. And I just love your work.
Thank you. Thank you, Habibti. Thank you. Right back at you, of course, as you know. I've been at many of your book launches, which is an honor and a privilege, and then hopefully you'll be at mine soon. So
Habibti,
thank you for that introduction. Yeah. Yeah. I've been trying to like fiddle with my camera because it's moving. So I'm sorry if it's hallucinogenic. It's not intended to be.
But it seems good now. Yeah, don't worry about that.
Okay, I was worried it was going to like give people vertigo or something while I read. It's bad enough that I'm reading, but should I just dive in, or we're just reading straight away? Okay. Yeah. I did want to say that this is half a poem. It's a 17 or 16-minute poem, and I didn't want to read the entire thing, of course. I think I would be ostracized from society. So this is half a piece written in the past year. And yeah, it's the first time I experience such violence towards Palestinians while living in the West. I have experienced many wars, but living in the Arab world, in Lebanon, Amman, and Syria. And I suppose there are many layers of alienation and dehumanization and othering that happen in this country. I'm generally unaware of them, luckily, being like sort of naive and in my own world. But I think this piece is a little bit a reaction to being here in New York, watching a live stream genocide, which I wish I could undo, which is why this is called Command Z. Command Z. Resign this self-consigned sack of so much, dusk deflated on a couch, sobbing at gnats. No being out there will hesitate even for an hour, so you may find words for unutterable want. Consider all the dirges yet to be spoken in these endings of common language. It will take up time. It is the baddest year of your heart, of your lungs. Stare at vapor nourishing the leaves of snow of north, shockingly alive. Remember to break your teeth less. Audibly let out stink from this beast's belly, from this bleak gray dank. The sun is in the kitchens of our wake. Remember to tell people that you love them. These are the days for why such endeavors were made. Remember your mothers. Tell them the eyes of the babies are saucers. Tell them the bones too feeble for source or laughter. Tell them it is unbearable lightness, forms of limbs like lines, ground powder. Listen to Ave Maria. Invoke the great mother of our hurt, this tender. Ask for her to descend from myth, to shepherd the frailty of our babies into oases of honey, rivers of milk, soil of golden wheat, of citrus. She does not hear us. All fucking day, the numbers. First a tally digit, then the women, then the children. Then you train your ears for the screeches at maximum anguish where the pitch of the bereaved, every woman, is beyond sonic comprehension. I refuse to listen to what it is I am in constant listen with. What is this misery on refrain, these supplications to deities in absentia? What is this screen asking me to do in its permanence? They are starving everyone. Girls with wilted braids cry of chicken, the invisible gnawing she wants to hand us, the cravings of a carcass. Turn on the real news louder, our killing by the kilo assembled. Here, a bag for your ear, there, a bag for your stomach. In the corner, the sacks of vulvas and clavicles and voice boxes are stacked haphazard. Turn off the real headlines, stagger in the purgatory of knowing or knowing harder. What is the capacity of breasts for gore? Pause in the bathroom as an auntie wails in no language sanctioned, her garbled screech belying red chunks from womb to blue plastic to the earth's core. Go to bed. It is later than possible. Do not touch yourself in the nights of pillage unraveling on projectors, malevolent films of carnage, archived and managed and broadcast and subtitled. Fuck all these programs, their slate, their rosters. Turn off the humming of sagging buildings, burning trees. We vacantly hand out protest cards, trudge home with sugar, sleep whenever, however, swing the legs, bowing in the condensation of the here, of now, damp, swollen, the body heaves to standing, says, where are my loves? Come, gather. Buy a humidifier. The plants are not to blame for what is husk, what is plaster. Wake to the cleansing of nothing, to basins full of spit. Hum grace to know God for your luminous friends, your scintilla sister. Assume this bequeathment to be in the natural order of things. Move because you have to. Move because you have to and because muscle is vulnerable. Think of your gone lover. Daydream of him ever and shudder. Think of your self-besieged lover who chose to close doors where the sounds come from, who said sad, no thank you to a country, no thank you to my heart's patter. Think of how much water he carried for you, in elbows taut, and jawlines gentle. Remember the corpses of later, obliterate the corpses, blurred, trampled, battered to walls, half-skull hallucinations of crimson. How are these the fables of our elders? Prostrate in faith at the hips which bore none. Gaze at the palms from where guns ooze. Turn off the oven, add extra cheese to the mix. Remember the poems of salt, of sour. Chew when possible. Stop if you can muster. Disenchant the mirror and disregard the brush. By conditioner bars and razors. By mousetraps, by lights, by weed, by barriers. It is late. The night is soon over. How we tumbled into the mornings of questions here as distant bodies bore up tons of concrete. What fuckery is this to misplace a country? Shot down like fish, a barrel in the lungs of those of us croaking, those of us jotting the appointments to herald oblivion, herald defeat. Every morning, question the morning. No longer a friend, the sun dims in tepid cowardice. Tell your mother the witches are brewing, but their battle cry is too far to hear. Consider the worst case options, the scenarios of this star-spangled banner. Consider the years. Join ranks with hordes of the barely legible monsters on chemicals. Absorb daily the unspoken barter hatched with demons in grotesque contracts unclean. Drink beer, hyphenate your family estate, and join a cult of your preferred shade of hate. Study what it takes to be here. Close the door behind you after. Thank the cruelty that brought us liberty, so free. It is all so very late in the hour. Consider, but maybe consider the most wondrous case option as him as prayer. No terror required, no drawn fate for a home after all, no heavens, no jail cells. No sin, no stones, no grave, no betrayal, no wires, no gunshots, no sirens, no hell, no headlines, no shrieks, no history books, no poems, no nothing to remember, no nothing to tell, no nothing to speak. Regorged mandarins, wild sage, ravenous. Everything shuts the fuck up. The tendrils of our city of pining sleep. There is water and inside fire. There are holograms of laughter in the sky for no reason whatsoever. Whatever we willed in speech became matter. No hunger, no thirst, no requiems of ache composed, no summons delivered, nor received nor answered. No wounds, no nothing to seep. Whatever floated in our debris found harbor. And there is water, plains of tobacco, music to accompany us, and orange blossom trees. And there is sugar and delirium, high notes of madness, invisible dancers, ecstasy, and weeds. Most urgently, this languid beauty, sprawled form of you, luscious, supinely near, at the center of here and here. Here, won't you close these shades with me, my love? Won't you hand me your hand? Come rest a bit longer, please. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Hind. Your beautiful poetry. I miss it. I miss listening to it. It's just very gentle and soft and raw. So thank you for your words. I would love to introduce our next poet, Lena Khalaf Tuffaha, also a dear friend who supported Sukoon, somebody I have been following and being inspired by her work for years and years and years. Lena Khalaf Tuffaha is an award-winning Palestinian poet, essayist, and translator, author of 5 books of poetry. Something About Living is the latest one, which won a number of awards, including the National Book Award in 2024. The first Palestinian to have ever won this award. Mabruk, and thank you, Lena, for being with us.
Thank you so much, Rewa, and thank you, Hind, for that magnificent, if that's just half of the poem, I can't wait to get the full poem. It's good to be here with my sisters among poets. I'd like to start with a poem by a poet from Gaza who was assassinated in October 2023. Her name is Hiba Abu Nada. This is a poem of hers that is translated, and it's from this terrific anthology called Out of Gaza. We are in the heights now. Teachers free of their crowded classrooms, their voices no longer shouting to be heard. New families without pain or sadness. Journalists taking pictures of heaven, writing about eternal love. All of them are from Gaza. There is a new Gaza in heaven, without siege, taking shape now. I'm also going to read a poem by a young poet from Gaza who is writing incredible work in the midst of horror that is unimaginable to all of us. This is Batul Abu Aqleen's first book, translated into English. It's, I believe, a self-translation. The title is 48 Kilograms. And I'm going to read the poem in Arabic and then in English because the Arabic is available. درس الألوان. تجلس الحرب الأطفال قبالتها. تحمل المدينة بين ذراعيها وتشير بسبابتها. الأحمر لون الدم، الأبيض لون الكفن، الأخضر لون قبضة الموت، الأزرق لون رداء الطبيب، الأسود لون عباءة الأرملة، الرمادي لون القذيفة. يرفع طفل جديد إصبعه، تومئ الحرب، يقول: هل يرى الأعمى أيا من هذا؟ تضع الحرب المدينة جانبا، يسري صمت. يجيب طفل أصيب بالعمى منذ اللحظة التي أصبحت فيها الحرب مدرسة. كان الأحمر لون، الأبيض، الأخضر، لا أتذكر. يخرج من الصف وهو يهذي: منذ متى وأنا أعمى؟ منذ متى؟ A lesson on color. War sits the children in front of her. She holds the city in her arms. She points with her index finger. Red is the color of blood. White is the color of the shroud. Green is the color of death's fist. Blue is the color of the doctor's gown. Black is the color of the widow's cloak. Gray is the color of gunmetal. A newborn raises his finger. War nods. The newborn says, "But what do the blind see?" War puts the city aside. Silence falls. Blind since the moment war became a school, a child answers. Red was the color of white, green. I don't remember. He leaves the class stammering. Since when have I been blind? Since when? And I'll offer a couple of mine. This is a poem entitled Grisaille. For those who don't know, Grisaille is a style of painting in grayscale. The method is simple and civilized. A canvas must be stripped, then prepared, the scale of shadows and highlights defined, a foundation of values laid out upon which the victor's colors will be saturated. Our children learn the maps of homeland in wartime, on screens emblazoned with their cousins' limbs, vermilion streaks across the gaping craters of their leveled neighborhoods. It is said this technique comes from Europe. It is said the soldiers are livid for being forced to kill. It is said, disperse them. Our children study these images, their cousins' corpses light fast, their cries passing through networks of metal and verdigris, calling for water and father and air. It is said, more succinctly, flatten it all. It is possible for the light to be reflected back to the viewer for the effect of luminosity. Pianissimo. If you say it softly, if you linger, there is precedent. In tajweed, the tradition is incantatory, even though you don't call it song. If you count 6 beats for every long alif, like lifting a prayer up to the sky, like hoisting a body above the ruins, and the arms raised up in praise, in grieving, praise. If you choose a softer word here, read a poem about love instead. If you add the word, if you loosen the grip, if you say it in Arabic, say it in Arabic whisper, choose the one that rhymes, even if it is reserved for the dead. If you sing, sing it a little, the crowd begging, the sky begging, the collapsed begging the earth to stop caving in, blessing the baby delivered again from the rubble, beseeching the walls, the crowds passing the newborn, hand over heads garlanded in concrete dust, Allahu Akbar, always translated as indictment. Instead, say something soft, stretch the syllables. Let us hear. And I'll close, since we are in September, with the poem that my book, Something About Living, takes its title from. It's a letter of gratitude, a love letter to June Jordan, beloved poet, who did not need any real explanation to see. She saw clearly always and spoke bravely always, no matter what it cost. And she has been for many, many, many years a hero of mine. Letter to June Jordan in September. I cannot pass the anniversary of that first news event of childhood without returning to your poem. How from my house I watched, and watched my grief-stricken parents unable to speak. How I leaned into the screen, the chords of the cries, searching for what was recognizable of fingers and thighs, of bracelets and mustaches. Macabre arrangement of bodies with names like our own. I cannot pass without your words. Something about witnessing twice removed, about distances magnified by the shift into language, of dailiness and my own children's vernacular and the machine grinding us all in its jaws. I met a girl from the camp at a reading in Beirut. She asked if we could talk about the life of poetry. Our families are hauled off to the world of the dead, and every day it is on screen. In Gaza, we're watching Ferguson, and in Atlanta, we're watching Jerusalem, watching Minneapolis, watching. Their weapons and their training programs indistinguishable. The word almost flickers for a nanosecond. Here, I note the shelf life of self-censorship, legacy of our era. Some days, poems are scrawled on pieces of cardboard and carried on our shoulders at the protest like martyrs. Here, I should say something about hope. Here, I should say something about living. Thank you.
Lena, thank you for your absolutely gorgeous work and for that tribute to June Jordan and for bringing the voices of other young, beautiful poets into this space. And congratulations again on the National Book Award. It's so exciting. I get to introduce our next reader, who is a dear friend and inspiration always, Suheir Hammad. Suheir is a Palestinian-American poet, an author, performer. Her books include Breaking Poems, Zatar Diva, Born Palestinian, Born Black, Drops of This Story, and produced plays include Blood Trinity and Breaking Letters, which many years ago I had the honor of directing, and as well as a libretto for the multimedia performance Reorientalism. Hello, Suheir. I feel like you're coming on because I'm still talking about you. I want to keep talking about you as a winner of so many awards and former writer and performer of Def Poetry Jam, which was a Tony Award-winning project, and performer in the Cannes Film Festival official selection film Salt of the Sea, which if folks have never seen, you should definitely see. And she has a fantastic TED Talk, Poems of War, Peace, Women in Power, and much, much, much more. And it is always an honor to be with you, Suheir. Thank you so much for making it possible and showing up for this. How you doing?
I'm good. Thank you for hosting this again. Palestine is in the world. Of the world. Gaza is in Palestine. Affirmation by Asada Shakur. I believe in living. I believe in the spectrum of beta days and gamma people. I believe in sunshine, in windmills and waterfalls, tricycles and rocking chairs. And I believe that seeds grow into sprouts and sprouts into trees. I believe in the magic of hands and the wisdom of the eyes. I believe in rain and tears and in the blood of infinity. I believe in life. And I have seen the death parade march through the torso of the earth, sculpting mud bodies in its path. I have seen the destruction of the daylight and seen bloodthirsty maggots prayed to and saluted. I have seen the kind become the blind, and the blind become the bind in one easy lesson. I have walked on cut glass. I have eaten crow and blunder bread and breathed the stench of indifference. I have been locked by the lawless, handcuffed by the haters, gagged by the greedy. And if I know anything at all, it's that a wall is just a wall and nothing more at all. It can be broken down. I believe in living. I believe in birth. I believe in the sweat of love and in the fire of truth. And yeah, flotilla, I believe that a lost ship steered by tired, seasick sailors can still be guided home to port. Rest in power, Assad Shakur. Rest in power, Mahmoud Darwish. Translated by Fadi Judah. Thank you, Lena, for reading the poets. I wanted to read the poets, but they're still alive. They're still alive. What is this? Thank you. So Mahmoud Darwish wrote to a young poet. I didn't read this. I wish I had read this as a young poet, but let's see. Don't believe our outlines, forget them, and begin from your own words. As if you were the first to write poetry or the last poet. You hear me, Yazan? If you read our work, let it not be an extension of our errors, but to correct our errors in the book of agony. Don't ask anybody. Don't ask anyone. Who am I? You know who your mother is. As for your father, be your own. Truth is white, write over it with a crow's ink. Truth is black, write over it with a mirage's light. If you want to duel with falcon, soar with the falcon. If you fall in love with a woman, be the one, not she, who desires his end. Life is less alive than we think. But we don't think of the matter too much, lest we hurt emotions' health. If you ponder a rose for too long, you won't budge in a storm. You are like me, young poet, but my abyss is clear, and you have roads whose secrets never end. They descend and ascend, descend and ascend. You might call the end of youth the maturity of talent or wisdom. No doubt it is wisdom, the wisdom of a cool non-lyric. 1,000 birds in the hand don't equal one bird that wears a tree. A poem in a difficult time is beautiful flowers in a cemetery. Example is not easy to attain, so be yourself and other than yourself behind the borders of echo. Ardor has an expiration date with extended range, so fill up with fervor for your heart's sake. Follow it before you reach your path. Don't tell the beloved, you are I and I am you. Say the opposite of that. We are two guests of an excess fugitive cloud. Deviate with all your might. Deviate from this rule. Don't place two stars in one utterance and place the marginal next to the essential to complete the rising rapture. Don't believe the accuracy of our instructions. Believe only the caravan's trace on your face. A moral is a bullet in its poet's heart, a deadly wisdom. Be strong as a bull, ya batal, when you're angry, weak as an almond blossom, ya werde, when you love, and nothing Nothing when you serenade yourself in a closed room. The road is long, like an ancient poet's night. Plains and hills, rivers and valleys. Walk according to your dream's measure. Either a lily follows you or the gallows. Your tasks are not what worry me about you. I worry about you from those who dance over there and our children's graves. And from the hidden cameras in the singers' navels, you won't disappoint me. If you distance yourself from others and from me, what doesn't resemble me is more beautiful. From now on, your only guardian is a neglected future. Don't think when you melt in sorrow like candle tears of who will see you or follow your intuition's light. Think of yourself. Is this all of myself? The poem is always incomplete. Oh, the butterflies make it whole. No advice in love, it's experience. No advice in poetry, it's talent. And last but not least, salam. How kind of him. I'm going to read one more poem, and it's also not mine, because Naomi Shihab Nye, talk about being a Palestinian in the West. I can't imagine what the people who worked so hard to make spaces and open doors. The genocide has found us all in different times in our lives. And I think of those poets so much. So this is my last offering tonight. It's called Torn Map by Naomi Shihab Nye. We love you, Habibti. I love you. Capital, like me, we. Yo, once by mistake, she tore a map in half. She taped it back, but crookedly. Now all the roads ended in water. There were mountains right next to her hometown. Wouldn't it be nice if it were true? I'd tear a map and be right next to you. Free Palestine.
Thank you so much, Suheir, for calling all of those legendary folks into the room. Asada Shakur, Darwish, Naomi, who was with us last year and sends her love, by the way, because she's here in spirit with us for this reading and gathering of poets tonight. Thank you so much for that, Suheir. We're going to share, although I want more of your work. I'm just going to say it. I want to hear you more, but I'm so grateful, so grateful for the ways that you are writing and putting out work through social media all the time, and all the work you're doing in the world, and all the support you're giving to so many people in these very, very difficult times.
I love you. I appreciate you.
Love you too. So I'm going to introduce a video poem, and then after the video, we're going to invite all the poets back to just kind of reflect and have a conversation. But I'm going to tell you a little bit about what's coming up. The video you're about to see is a poem by Sahar Assaf, who is our co-producer, co-organizer for this event. And she's not with us live in this moment, but you will see her later. And I want to share with you, Sahar is a Lebanese theater maker and currently the artistic director of Golden Thread Productions in San Francisco. And her work is always very rooted in socially and politically engaged theater. And the piece you're about to see was written last year while we were making a work at Golden Thread called 11 Reflections San Francisco, which was part of a national series of work that I do. And this was co-created with artists in San Francisco. And one of the prompts was write a love poem or a love song for Gaza. And at the time of the writing, it was September. And Sahar was in Lebanon in the period of time when Israel was bombing Beirut and various parts of Lebanon at the same time as its ongoing assault and genocide in Gaza. And yet, under the bombs, she wrote this love poem for Gaza. So in the video, you will hear her reading the Arabic, and I am reading the English. And underneath there are vocal improvisation by Lubana Al-Kuntar. Let's play the video.
غزة، أفكر بك غالبا في معظم الأيام، وفي بعض الأيام في كل دقيقة من اليوم. أنت هناك.
I think of you often, most days, some days every minute of the day. You are there.
لكن في بعض الأيام عندما لا أفكر بك يزورني ألمك.
But some days, when I don't think of you, your pain visits me.
في نفس عميق، في عناق شديد مع صغيري، في دموعه وهو ينعى فقدان بالونه الأحمر.
In a deep breath, in a tight cuddle with my little one, in his tears as he mourns the loss of his red balloon.
في جرح إصبع، في وجبة منزلية، في محادثة عابرة حول الطقس، في سرير حب دافئ.
In a finger cut, in a homemade sandwich, in a random conversation about the weather, in a warm love bed, in a daydream.
في حلمي يقظة يزورني ألمك ثم أبكي وأبكي.
Your pain visits me, and then I cry and cry.
أفكر ما الذي سيتطلبه الأمر لكل منا عشاقك. كل منا يفكر بك، يشعر بك كل يوم.
I think, what would it take for all of us, your lovers, all of us who think of you, who feel you every day, what would it take for all of us, your lovers, to become your human dome?
ما الذي سيتطلبه الأمر منا جميعا عشاقك لنصبح قبتك البشرية، لنشبك أيدينا عبر العالم ونضمك في عناق شديد.
What would it take to reach out, hold hands across the globe and wrap you in a giant embrace? What would it take to wrap red balloons around the wrists of all your children and carry those with no wrists and no legs?
ما الذي سيتطلبه منا الأمر لنلف البالونات الحمراء حول معاصم أطفالك ونحمل أولئك الذين ليس لديهم معاصم ولا أرجل؟ ما الذي سيتطلبه منا الأمر لنمسك بأيدي أمهاتك الحزينات ونقبلهن؟
What would it take to grab the hands of your mourning mothers and kiss them, kiss those hands?
نقبل تلك الأيادي. ما الذي سيتطلبه منا الأمر لننظر في عيون رجالك المتعبة ونقول لهم إننا نراهم ونبكي؟
What would it take to look your men in their drained eyes and tell them we see them and cry?
ما الذي سيتطلبه منا الأمر عشاقك غزة؟
What would it take for us, your lovers?
أفكر بك غالبا في معظم الأيام، في معظم دقائق معظم الأيام، وأسمع نفسي أقول أنا آسفة.
Gaza, I think of you often, most days, most minutes of most days, and I hear myself say, I am sorry.
أنا آسفة. أنا آسفة جدا.
I am sorry. I'm so sorry.
أتمنى ألا تغفري لنا أبدا. أتمنى ألا تغفري لنا أبدا. أتمنى ألا
Forgive
تغفري
us.
لنا أبدا.
I hope you will never forgive us. I hope you will never forgive us. I hope you will never forgive us. Gaza.
غزة. غزة.
Thank you, Sahar, for that beautiful work. I know you're watching out there, and welcome back, Rewa, and all of our readers, all of our lovely, gorgeous poets. We have about 10 minutes just to connect with each other and to have a conversation, reflect on the connections that you heard and what we've just witnessed. So welcome back, Hind and Suheir as well, if you can come on camera. And thank you so much, everyone, for being with us. Rewa?
Thank you. I just needed a minute. That was beautiful. I was, yeah. Sorry, I just needed a minute. After that, thank you, Sahar Assaf and Andrea Assaf, for this work. Thank you for all your words, every one of you, Suheir, Hind, and Lena, and for bringing all these amazing voices into the room today. It's so wonderful to hear Lubana's voice as well in the video. Just kind of seems really powerful.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I just want to say again, like, my conviction, that the liberation of Palestine is inevitable. It is inevitable, not only plausible, but inevitable. And so I'm just curious to hear what anchors you? How do you stay in that belief, in that conviction? And what is the role of what we do, our words, our art? Sometimes it feels very futile, but they are killing the writers and the journalists and the people who are, their memories and their voices, people who record.
People who record are dangerous. I don't know if this is a question towards one person or if you were speaking to
everybody. It's open to everyone.
Yeah, I'm like teacher's pet, always me, I'll say something. I love how Andrea earlier was like, you have 6 minutes after you read, chill and take a beat. And then they play like the saddest poetry film I've ever seen. And now we're expected to talk. And I'm like, it's just very, very hard to talk.
I know. I was like, where are my words? Yeah.
Also miss Beirut. And I just like remembered the beach in Beirut, seeing this and how close it all is and how separated. I suppose I was jumping in to say that, like, there is no other choice. I think some people choose to be actively involved in the world of Palestine because of their conscience, their love, their heart, some experience, something drives them. But I think there are also lots of people who are born into it and who cannot conceive of a life that's not centered around this. So I think the concept of hope is useless. Like there is no, it doesn't matter if we're winning or losing. I talked to a very badass woman from the south of Lebanon, at a musical event last week, and she just said, this is it. I'm born. I fight for Palestine, whether we win or lose. I fight the Zionists. I die, my kids fight on, someone else fights on. There is no question about it. And therefore I can dance, I can sing, I can eat, I can enjoy beauty, because from the moment I'm born to the moment I die, I defy, I fight. My goal in life is to fight this. And if it doesn't move the needle in any way, it's okay. This is how we live our life. So I think about the people of the South a lot and how they liberated their land. And so many of them seem so convinced it's going to happen moving south. It's a very bad time to be a Palestinian liberation struggle person. But there's many of us, so many of us. Has to count for something.
I think that sense of responsibility is really important to me. I don't know if it really matters how we feel about it all the time, right? Like, sometimes I'm anchored, sometimes I'm lost and drifting. I don't know if it matters really how I feel. I think that it's just the responsibility of being a human being and having a heart. For me and for so many of us, I know that Palestine is what teaches us about the world. Palestine is what raised us. Palestine is what teaches us how to be human beings and how to care for other human beings and the planet we live on. So it just is, right? That's the moral compass that we were given, and we're lucky to have that. It's just excruciating to watch from a distance the magnitude of the horror of the loss. But that and the responsibility are set, like the responsibility is not affected by that pain and that grief. They're separate somehow. And then the other thing I think it's okay to name, because maybe other people are going through it, so maybe they'll feel seen and like less like they're losing their minds, which is, there's no such thing as the past. And that's so disorienting, but there really isn't. I mean, for those of us who are not super young, speaking for myself, when I look back on things I've written or done or said 10, 20, 30 years ago, and I think how that's a drop in the ocean of what our parents and grandparents' generation, I mean, we've been saying over and over again in different iterations the same things. It's heartbreaking and infuriating. I just think about the energy and the potential and the beauty trapped inside of Palestinians that has had largely to be used and directed towards arguing with fools and exposing colonizers. And I just think about all of that is lost, that capacity that is lost. There's no worthier cause, but we're just in this loop all the time, and that can be really devastating. So if you're feeling somewhere out there, you're feeling that, you're not losing your mind, that is a real experience that we're all having. I wish I had something more intelligent to say about it, but I just think it's important to name.
I really was moved by how this group, really without planning it, decided to call in so many other voices into the room. Those who came before us, young folks who are writing now and will continue after us. As one of my mentors, Alice Lovelace, who is a poet and activist from Atlanta, said once, she said to me, like, why do you think the work is going to ever be done? As hard as we are working for justice and peace and progressive change, there are plenty of people out there working harder with more money, more resources, more organized to keep us down, right? So the work is never going to be done. It is a work of generations, and it is about that choice to decide who you're going to be and what you're going to participate in and what you're not going to participate in, and how you're going to live, right? I mean, for me as an artist, I'm always thinking about, like, I need to be able to sleep at night with who I am, who I've become, and what I'm doing. So I was really inspired by how everyone reached for more voices than folks who couldn't be with us now and are with us all the time, always.
I'd like to tell a story about that really briefly. 5 years ago, I lived in Dubai. There was a poetry prize, and one of our lovely judges is Naomi Shihab Nai, who also endorsed my book and was like incredibly generous. Like, I sobbed and sobbed when Naomi wrote my book blurb a few months ago. But 5 years ago, she was the judge on a poetry prize, which I ran with some other lovely friends. And Naomi chose Batul from Gaza to win the youth award at the time. Batul was 15, and none of us expected that she would be undergoing what she is today, or that she would make books and start translating. And, you know, it's just, it goes to show that like Naomi and Batul 5 years ago connected briefly, and then now we're all, and Batul is here through Lena. I speak to her sometimes in Gaza. I'm amazed at what she's doing with her life and work. And I too wrote about June Jordan years ago. Her essay on breast cancer is deeply, deeply moving to me. If you haven't ever read it, any of you, you should. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to have to transition us soon to the next session. I just wanted to check with Suheir if there's any closing word you want to leave with us, or Rewa, before we go to the next.
I just, can you hear me fine?
Yeah.
I want to say hi, Baba. Inshallah, my dad's watching. This is his hutta behind me. I want to say, continue to decolonize your mind. Continue to un-Yankee yourself. They have actually murdered the best Palestinians, in my opinion, the best. And so I feel, as someone who's put in a refractive representational space, that I am not, I have to do more, and I have to get braver. And if I'm wrong about the best of us are being assassinated and left to die in the worst ways, then those of us who dare to call ourselves Palestinian and lovers of Palestine really have to do the work. They will not forgive, by the way. It's not for them to forgive, Habibti. That poem moved me to tears. Thank you. And they don't have to forgive.
That's right.
Vengeance is not theirs. Could you even begin to imagine? We cannot. We're not that. We're not that.
Thank you. Thank you, Lena, Hind, Suheir. Thank you, Rewa, for co-hosting. Do you want to say goodbye or any final word?
I got nothing. Thank you all. My hearts, really. Thanks.
It's so lovely to see you all. Thanks for joining us. And people who are watching and listening, remember you can find out more about all of these poets in the digital program that's on the Golden Thread website, and on social media. Read their work, buy their books, support, and spread the news about the work that all these beautiful people are doing, and all of the folks that they lifted up and brought into the room as well. Thank you all, and have a beautiful night or day wherever you are. Now we are going to shift to a pre-recorded session. It is a conversation with historian and journalist Vijay Prashad and international human rights lawyer and activist Craig Mokiber on debunking Zionist lies and myths. It was recorded and moderated by Sahar Assaf, and we will see you soon after this conversation.